I've quite frequently been asked what I think would be the perfect strongman competition. In strongman, nothing's really standardized. Not the events, not the equipment that athletes compete on. I'd say there's probably 50 or more different strongman events, but there's one question I've been asked many times is what would the perfect set of events be to crown the world's strongest man? So I believe having so many different events to choose from and every competition being different, that's part of the charm of strongman. But say if we would like to have, for example, strongman into the Olympic Games, I think we would have to standardize. So we had one set of events which would be competed in every time. So in this video, I'm going to break down what I believe should be the events in the Olympic Games. So first of all, I've chosen 6 events. Of course, I do like strongman comps with 8 events, with 10 events. But I feel like for this setup, I have to put it down to 6 events. 5 events I don't think is enough to crown the real winner, so 6 events it is. So let's jump straight into it. The first event is the pressing event I've chosen, and that is a press medley. The athletes will have to lift a circus dumbbell, an Apollon's axle, a log lift, a block, and a yoke overhead for time. It's very important for me that in this press medley, the athletes will be free to choose the order. They can start on the circus dumbbell, they can start on the log lift, they can start wherever they want. I do acknowledge that this could make it a little bit unclear what's going on because one guy's there and the other guy's all over there starting. But I feel like having counters and such showing, for example, if here it's 5 implements and if you have it showing how many has been completed, I feel like we could make it work. I feel like choosing the order is a very important aspect because you get to showcase who's the best all-around presser. If you are very good, clever in all the pressing events, this will be no problem and you'll just do them all for time. But if you're specified in just a couple of them, you'll get to showcase this. And if you just suck big time on pressing events, you won't take any lifts or points in this event. So we didn't talk about weights or weight classes, but I would like to put some weights out there. For example, if this was the open weight category, to point on what I feel like the weight should be for a competition like this. So say it's an open class competition, I would say the circus dumbbell should be 105 kilo, that's 1 repetition, 170 kilo Apollon's axle, 180 kilo log, 130 kilo block, and 150 kilo yoke. So it's quite heavy, but still not too heavy. And I feel like if you're in the top in the world, doing all 5 of these is very, very doable. But if you're just good in a couple of them, you'll also get to showcase that. Going into the second event, I've chosen a deadlift last man standing. To be more specific, it's a Hummer tire deadlift last man standing. I do choose this deadlift variation because I think it's a better viewer experience with the Hummer tires. I also want to have the last man standing because I want the athletes to stand in a line. It should be very clear who's in it, who's out. You're not able to skip a weight. To me, for the viewer's experience, it's not that important if it's a suit or not, especially when it's the Hummer tires, because most viewers can't differ between 400 kilo, 500 kilo. Everything's heavy, and if you just have loads of tires like back in the days at the Arnolds, I think that's a great view. So of course, for the strongman fans, having a suit and heavy weights would be cool, but I think at the Olympic Games, not that important. So the second event is the Hummer tire deadlift last man standing to showcase max back strength. Event 3 I've chosen is a medley, a car yoke into tire flips. I feel like a lot of you guys would start nodding like, no, hell no. But I'm a big fan of tire flips. I think it's a great event to watch. I think it's a great event to test athletes in. And I do believe, same as Brian Shaw, if you have the right tires, it's not big risk for injury. No bigger risk than many other strongman events. If you do them incorrectly, you'll injure yourself. The same with this one. So the car yoke, it showcases like a Flintstone. Many guys knew growing up with a man carrying his car. It's very relatable with the car yoke. Everyone knows that a car is heavy, so I feel like this should be a car yoke. It could also be carrying fridges and so on. The tire, I think, should be huge, a big one. Not necessarily very, very heavy, but it has to be big and look heavy. And I think this is a great event to do head-to-head, doing car yoke into tire flip. To talk about weights, I'd say the car yoke could be about 1,000 pounds or 454 kilos. And the same for the tire, it could be about 1,000 pounds, 454 kilos. The car yoke, I feel like, should be carried at like 20 meters, and the tire should be flipped 6 repetitions for time. I think this is a great addition to the strongman comp. Event 4 is a truck pull, or if you have the space, I would love to see a plane pull, see a Hercules plane pulled. To be honest, my personal thoughts about this event, the truck pull, I don't like it to watch. I think it's very boring. One of the worst things I look at when I'm going to a strongman comp. So I wouldn't choose this for me, but I do know, doing surveys and knowing public opinions, pulling a plane, pulling a big truck, that's something, yeah, caught a lot of eyes. And I feel like it's a good event to test an athlete's strength, because you test the cardio, you test the arm strength, the legs, the calves, the coordination. So I think it's a good event to test who's a great strongman. But to look at it, to watch, I think it's very boring. 9 out of 10 times you'll just see one and one athlete go out. You won't see them side by side. And to be fair, doing 2 at the same time is very difficult to have exact the same resistance, both because of the flooring and also because of the truck, the rust, how much air in the pressure in the tires. So yeah, usually we'll just have to go one by one, and I think it's very boring. But I feel like having it in the Olympic Games, you have to include a truck pull in some variant, if it's truck or if it's a plane. Many would say that this is a big guy event, and strongman is a big guy competition. But then again, if you look back at the world's strongest man, one of the best truck pullers we've ever seen is Mateusz Kielskowski, and he's been like 30, 40, even 50 kilos lighter than the bigger guys and beaten them. And we have another example with Alexei Novikov, even lighter, who won the world's strongest man once and also beat the best in the final when he were like 40, 50 kilos lighter. So even though it's a big guy event, you can showcase and win the event even being one of the lighter guys. Going into my 5th and second to last event is farmer's walk into odd object loading. Another medley. I feel like in strongman you should test the grip. When we do the deadlift, we do allow straps. So I think we should have a real test of grip. I don't feel like truck pulling, even though it's also hard on your grip, I don't feel like that's good enough. So you should test the grip with a farmer's walk. I would like it to be kind of speedy, but also cardiovascular with the odd object loading. The odd object loading should be carrying things like fridge, a washer, anchor, and so on. I think when we look at the weights, I think farmer's walk should be 20 meters for approximately 160 kilos. So it's not too heavy, but if you have very weak grip, you won't finish the 20 meters, and then you shouldn't be given a lot of points. I wouldn't want the farmers to be like 140 kilos and just be speed. You are supposed to test the grip. So about approximately 160 kilos. It depends on the grip, how good it is to grip. And after completing the farmer's walk, I think the odd object should be about 3 to 4 objects just being carried and loaded for like 3-4 meters, not like 20-meter carries. The main part here is the cardiovascular from the medley, and also the lifting odd objects, which I feel like is a big thing you should be good at in strongman. Both the mental aspect of it, to think how to lift this one properly and be fast, and also be strong enough to do it. So that is my 5th event. Before going to the 6th event, let me know in the comment, what event do you feel like I'm missing? Here it comes. The last and 6th event is the Atlas stones. It's a staple strongman event, and I don't feel like we can rule it out. It has to be included also in the Olympic Games. I would like it to be different heights, maybe from 170 centimeters down to 130, like the world's strongest man. I feel like the lightest stone should be about 130 kilos to 210 kilos. And it should be it could be more than 5 stones, but 5 stones is adequate. So I think that's it. I believe if strongman should go into the Olympic Games and we had to choose 6 different events to test the athletes and crown who's the best, who is the Olympic gold medalist, I feel like we should have a press medley, a Hummer tire deadlift, last man standing, a car yoke into tire flip, a truck pull, a farmer's walk into object loading, and finishing it all up with Atlas stones. That's my take. Let me know in the comment section, what event do you feel like I miss and which one would you remove for it? Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.